Hello, 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 hello! And welcome to the show. I hope everybody is doing well out there today. Whatever time it is in the world for you. This is How to App with Jade. So, after a nice weekend away and a nice bit of a rest, we are back once again. And today we're going to explore something really old, in my opinion. Okay, this is called Music Studio. It was the first app. It was the first app that I downloaded on iOS that I could make music on that wasn't GarageBand. I think that was in about 2011. So I use this quite a fair bit in conjunction with GarageBand still. So hi to everyone in the chat. I don't have my glasses on, which is really stupid of me. So I can't even read what is being written. I'll grab them soon. So I'll have a chat with you soon, but I'm going to jump straight into this today so we can have a look at this app, because over the next 4 days, so the next 3 shows are all going to lead up to Thursday for this fourth kind of what you can do with all this information. As I said, today we're starting with Music Studio today. Tomorrow I'm going to do 20 minutes with iSymphonic. And the day after that, I'll be doing 20 minutes with heavy brass. And on Thursday, I'm going to bring all of these 3 apps together into GarageBand and show you something really cool. So that is the premise for this week. And hopefully on Friday, I've got an interview with somebody really cool as well, which is pretty exciting. I won't jump the shark and talk about it now. So let's get into... God, I'm so nervous this morning. I've got the shakes. How weird's that? Performance anxiety. Okay, so we're going to start off with an app called Music Studio. I think it costs around $20 Australian. So it's about $16 US or something like that. Let's do a search. Music Studio. And you can actually get a free version of it as well. So if you download the free version, it has a whole bunch of MIDIs, some instruments and stuff like that. It unlocks a few channels to record, but it gives you a taste of it. But then I think it's $19 to unlock the rest. And you get heaps of instruments, which is really cool. So I'm not multitasking very well today. Music Studio. There it is. That's kind of what it looks like. Here it is on the App Store. Let's get into it anyway. It's lots of fun. Yeah! So this is Music Studio. Hopefully I've got sound. This is what you get when the main screen pops up. It's your keyboard. You'll see across the top, everything's nice and big and easy to kind of get your head around. They try not to clutter everything up. So this is your keyboard page. You can flick between keyboards and pads. And you can manipulate all of these pads into whatever chords you want. Across the top, just above, you see these numbers 1 to 12. You can fill them with chords as well, which is really cool. You can attach your MIDI keyboard to this, and it really connects well. They really talk to each other on a better level, I think, than GarageBand. Let's go across the tabs. So off the bat, once you pay for it, you get all these instruments. Bassoons, trumpets, I mean, you get a lot of instruments. It's pretty in-depth. And you also get the chance to import instruments, like things like iSymphonic or any other plugins that you've got floating around with this inter-app audio button to the left and the bottom. If I just click on that, this gives you all of your inter-app audio stuff you can import. So you can link this thing up to a bunch of other DAWs, a bunch of other things. It's pretty cool. Then you have a track view. So this is like, I guess, GarageBand, even kind of the same coloring of each. There you can see my piano. You can add MIDI tracks and use your piano just like you would in your piano roll, like you would in GarageBand, instead of having a visual drum kit or guitar instruments. Or you can just record audio straight into it and create new audio tracks. It's a new audio track you can just record straight into this. You can add new MIDI tracks, choose your instrument for each track. So that's just a brief look at those. I mean, there's really only 4 tabs you're using across the top, and there's this tab here, which is all your effects. You've got your global, you've got individual tracks and sends, and you can pretty much add anything in here, including internet IAA apps, anything you really want, plus the effects you get added into it. So it's pretty cool. Some of the effects are a bit shonky, definitely. You can also import projects. You can import MIDI files. As you can see, I have a huge mess of stuff which needs cleaning. I do have some stuff that's put in folders, important stuff. But yeah, you can just import, like I could import an in excess MIDI into this, and let's play this. And obviously you could change all these instruments that are pre-built into this MIDI file. You can then save. Say you take this MIDI file here and you change a few instruments in it to make it sound a little bit better. What that actually does is and then you save it again as a MIDI file. You can then import that into GarageBand on iOS, and you'll have a better chance. You know, with some MIDI files that you open in GarageBand, the instruments never really match for a lot of them. It gets, because iOS doesn't have a large variety of MIDIs. MIDI instruments within GarageBand. So if you open a MIDI file first in this app, play with it, get the instrument sounding a bit better, then save it as a MIDI and then import it into GarageBand, you'll find you'll get a better match of instruments, and the whole overall experience of MIDI is much better. Just something that I found. That's why I continue to use this particular app, this music studio. It's really old. It hasn't been updated since I think 2018. So it has some issues currently too with you can't actually use it with GarageBand if you're running GarageBand in 24-bit, because they haven't updated this music studio to be more than 16-bit, which is unfortunate. I found that the hard way on my iPad Pro. I was getting a buzzing sound every time I used this. But I worked out it was every time I tried to use it with GarageBand, I was having that problem. So let me give you an example of, you've got drum kits built into this already. So you can go to your pads and full kits there. And there's, my favorite one's the orchestral percussion. Cool. Anyway, so I'll show you something cool here that one of the main things I use this whole DAW for is for iSymphonic. And I'm quickly just going to open it up today and show you quickly the main thing I use this for. As you can see, I've opened up iSymphonic. Now, I actually save my own projects within here. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of things. So I use the 16 MIDI tracks to their fullest and try and create full orchestras. So this is one just for an example. And just getting off on a tangent, when you open iSymphonic normally as an AUV3 in GarageBand, you only get to use one set of samples from iSymphonic. Where using it through Music Studio, you can use all 16 MIDI channels. Give you an example by going over here really big. Now I think in that particular iSymphonic I'm running, I've got 1 part, 2 parts, chamber strings, trombone section, a movie orchestra, medium-sized strings. So I've built up all these sounds and lowered their pitches for each one. And now in here, this is all of them together. Later towards the end of the week, I'll show you how to incorporate all of this kind of thing into GarageBand. So this is just the beginning, scratching the surface of this amazing app. I mean, let's go through some of the sounds you get built in, which fully blow me away. I was using all their symphonic sounds way before I was using Interapp Audio for a lot of my music. Let's see. I love live already. Opening the wrong app. A bit of sensual sax just for a moment. Let's go. Oh, baby. That's right. Come inside. I know it's cold out there. And yeah. What the hell am I doing? Get back to what I was doing. Sorry about that. You hear sexy sax and just want to do Barry White. So let's go through some instruments here. So this is just free with what you get inside Music Studio. What was that? That was orchestral strings. So you've got violins, a solo violin. Let's check that out. Pretty cool. And like with your recorder here, let's clear this project. Cool. You can actually record, choose your timing, your BPM, nice and quickly, and you can record MIDI using this, and then you can save it and go and open it in the same tempo as what you're working on in GarageBand. There's heaps of ways you can import this to use their sounds. Let's do a quick recording just of MIDI. Can I do? Yeah, there. Go back to tracks, and here is your MIDI file. You can open it up, zoom in on it, you can edit your tracks, edit where everything is, move them around. And you can save this as a MIDI and import it into GarageBand. Let's go through some more sounds. Look at all this stuff. Double basses, tubas, horns, trumpets, bassoons. I'm pretty sure there's even a try to didgeridoo in here. Glockenspiel, flutes, world instruments. There's a didgeridoo. I bet it sounds horrible. Wow, that's actually not too bad. That's probably the best didgeridoo I think I've ever heard. For $20 anyway. Anyway, now the guitars are actually, so you've got a band section here as well, with clean guitars, power chords. I always love hearing power chords on MIDI. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Anyway, pretty horrible sounding guitars. What else have we got here? Some slap bass if you're really into doing Seinfeld starts. See, that's a pretty fair slap bass sound. What else? Plenty of electronic stuff here. Leads and... There's a real lot of stuff in here. Now I'll give you a hint at how this is all going to lead in to the show on Thursday. Is in your setup over here, second last tab on the end, you have this amazing feature to set your MIDI clock, okay? And it works really well with GarageBand, hooking up your two MIDI clocks together and then playing a whole bunch of MIDI stuff from here into GarageBand in time with your project in GarageBand. That's what I love doing, to really get more out of GarageBand on our iOS, because it's so simple to use sometimes. Anything else we could go through? A few more instruments before wrapping up this roughly 20 minutes. I know Friday's show was a bit long. So I think I've touched on drum kits. There's so much classical stuff. It's fantastic. How about we go back to my iSymphonic and try bringing in some interesting sounds. A lot of these sounds are from my album I've been working on. I love this one's called Full Shit. I wonder what full shit contains. Let's hope it's not shit. All right. Awesome. Anyway, so that is Music Studio in a quick few 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow to do more on iSymphonic. I'm going to get away nice and early because I've got some music to be recording over the next day. So I hope you'll have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and goodbye.